So what I want to do next is readings for the 5 types. And let me know if you enjoyed the twin flame reading that I've incorporated, because these are the new relationships that are coming in after 2027, because we're moving from that 37. Oh, this is in the way. Just a sec. I see myself in the way there. Okay. So let me know if you enjoy this, and you notice that I'm editing it out so that people that aren't familiar with human design or Kundalini yoga can see this. Okay. So basically how this deals with human design is because right now we are in the 37.1. That's the theme that we've been in since 1961. We've been in the 37th gate since 1615. Okay? And then, it goes 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, 1961 to 2027. Okay? So not only are we moving into a new gate, hexagram, but we're moving into a new line. Right? And that's the 55.6. This is all about our relationships. We're moving from the old tribal way to this new way, right? The 55.6. So this is about spiritual. This is about a spiritual connection with another person, deeply spiritual. Even the term soulmate, right? From 1916, 15 onward was emotional love. It was emotional love. It was attachment. It came with conditions, right? It came with a lot of illusion and delusions. 55.6 is a totally different way of us connecting. So this is what these twin flames, that's the modern parlance of this term, right, is twin flame. So that's why I wanted to just do a reading and kind of incorporate the twin flames in. So let me know if you have met your twin flame, or you haven't yet. You will, because enlightenment is not going to be one by one anymore, right? Not one person at a time. It's going to be 2 by 2. So that relationships. This is part of our new spiritual journey. Okay? And if you don't know anything, or you know a little bit and you're interested, then please come to my webinar series. It'll be over 6 hours long, August 24th to the 31st. So I did a reading. And the other thing, to bring it back to this 35, right? That's Gemini. Gemini, the 35 is Gemini. Mars and Jupiter in Gemini. What's the ruler of Gemini? Is Mercury. And Mercury's in retrograde, so be sure to watch my Mercury retrograde video. And then the 59 is the programming partner, because all these 64 hexagrams are 32, right? 32 hexagrams, they each have a twin, right? They have a twin. That's the programming partner. So the 59 and the 55 are together. This is a huge part of the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix that's coming in 2027. So what is this saying? It's to be honest. It's to be honest and start with yourself. This is transparency, right? The shadow is dishonesty. It's time to be honest with yourself first. And I mean, that's so entrenched in our relationships, where we're dishonest with one another because we fear one another, right? We fear one another. This is going deep, deep, deep. Like I said, in the physical. Okay. So let's get I want to get my overlays up here. Right there. Okay. So I already did a reading before I logged on. The other ones I'll do right here because they're spontaneous. Okay. So this is in terms of twin flames. Remember, that there's the chaser and the runner. So we've got one soul and two bodies. And one body plays the chaser. And one body plays the runner. And this is impersonal. This is because you may say, I want to be the runner. Why do I have to be the chaser? Or I want to be the chaser. I don't want to be the runner. It's impersonal. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about your soul. This soul that's in two bodies. So the question that I asked was just what's going on, right? Clarity on the twin flames that are part of my collective, not my collective, my fractal line, right? There's 144,000 templates. And so one of my templates is me and you. I'm on your template, and you're on my template. If you're watching this and you're into me, you'll know by the sound of my voice if I resonate with you or not. If I don't resonate with you and you're like, you find my voice irritating or me irritating, then you're probably not on my fractal. Okay, so I chose an ego card. I did, and the divine chose an ego card. So the chaser is the one, just a reminder. The chaser is the one that's being called, because when the twin flames meet, one soul and two bodies, but then they meet on the 3D realm. And then what happens when those two bodies come together, the soul recognizes itself in the other body. Now the runner may not, the runner's more unconscious in a sense than the chaser, but there'll be some kind of recognition and then things get activated. And that's when this polarization happens with the soul, and one becomes the chaser, one becomes the runner. So one's running away from the chaser, and then the chaser's chasing the runner, basically. And this is the drama that you hear on the internet in terms of separation. But there's a purpose to it. Okay? So the question that I asked, let's start with the runner first, because they're the easiest. The runner here. Okay. Those are the cards for the runner. So what's the runner dealing with? His authority figure. Authority figures. So this is all about childhood stuff. And look, it's in the 5th house. I got the 5th house card too. These are the astrology deck that I have. In the 5th house is childhood. Childhood. So that echoes this authority figure. So this is dealing with authority figures. The runner, that's what they're being called to do right now. On the external, because the runners deal with things on the external, in the external world. So authority figures. If you're having a problem with an authority figure, right, there's usually a fear of an authority figure. Well, that goes back to your parents. It just goes back to the parents. It's actually the inner child that's fearing their parents. And they project that fear, the inner child projects that fear onto an authority figure. So anyone that you would perceive as having authority over you, like a boss or a landlord, right? Somebody, even a friend, right? That you're afraid to confront them, then this is the inner child at work. So perhaps the runner is listening to this authority figure, maybe doing some people pleasing, right? Not standing up for themselves, whatever it is. This is what they're dealing with. And what they're dealing with is they have to stand up for themselves. Because it's really about becoming a spiritual adult for both the runner and the chaser. It's a spiritual awakening. That's what the whole process is about. So with the authority figure, this is listening to this is an ego trap, right? So it's listening to the ego mind of like, well, I have to be in reality, right? With twin flames, you're in a different world. The twin flame phenomenon does not belong. It doesn't belong in the past for sure. It doesn't come from the past. This is a new consciousness. This is about the soul. The soul doesn't obey laws on the planet, if man-made laws on the planet or tribal traditions on the planet. Soul doesn't care. Soul doesn't care that your twin flame is married, or your twin flame is like way older than you, or your twin flame is a different race and religion. Doesn't care about all these obstacles, right? The soul is beyond that. So the runner may be dealing with some of that, like the tribal traditions that's coming from their childhood, that's coming from their parents and their ancestors. Because it's really about the inner child wanting that love, that unconditional love from their parent. And this is why they try to get it from the authority figures in the external world, right? I have to be responsible. I have to do this, and this is what's right, and this is what's wrong. And the soul doesn't care, right, at all about that. It just wants to be united. The soul wants to be united with that other, with its counterpart in that other person, right? So, but the unconditional love, I doubt any runners are watching this. Let me know if you're a runner, actually, or you think you're a runner. Is what the inner child really wants here is oneness, and it wants unconditional love. So does that mean that you have to get that from the chaser? No, you can give that to yourself. Remember, this journey is about becoming self-sovereign, whole unto yourself for 2027 and onward. Right? So we've got this as the ego trap. And then the guidance is this Eight of Wands and Knight of Swords. And this is about communication. It's about movement. It's about movement. So this could be calling the runner that they need to communicate to this so-called authority figure in their life, stand up to them. And if you want to go to the ultimate authority figure, I would go to the ego, not self. Do it that way, and then you don't even have to do it on the external. But the runner doesn't work that way. They've got to do all this on the external. If you're a chaser, you can do it this way. So maybe you're the chaser and you're, oh yeah, I can relate to this myself, right? Certain people I compromise around, right? I don't speak my truth, right? So this is like major movement, and this is what's stopping you. Fear of standing up to a parent, to your internal parent. And then the fifth house, this is passion, right? This is passion. The wand, you got wands here. You got the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is totally on instinct, totally on instinct. So the fifth house is about passion. It's about creativity. It's about romance. All this stuff is on the other side of this challenge for you, the fifth house. It's the artist, it's the inner child, right? It's the things we love to enjoy, right? That's the fifth house, is what we enjoy. And this is what's keeping you back from this. That's what the runner is dealing with. So let's bring it back, because we're talking about the 35. The 35, which is about a new experience, right? It's about a new experience. So it's not all bad, right? Just the shadow of hunger. If you enter into this relationship, because let's say it's the twin flame connection, this new relationship, or a new relationship even with your own creativity and your inner child, then this could be really, really positive for you, because 35 is adventure. That's the gift, is to go on an adventure, to have this experience. Maybe you've never had this experience in your life. Maybe you've never experienced true love. That's what twin flames is. It's true love. It's unconditional love. It's like the greatest love that you can have, right? As a human being, it's the twin flame love, because it's unconditional. It's divine. And the way that all this is set up, this mechanism, is like you can't be codependent, right? It just won't work. There can't be hooks. You can't throw harpoons in other people, like, right, the old way of doing relationships. So that's where it's headed, this union. Now, if we look at the chaser side, you got the defensive card right there. That's the ego. Right? So there's the ego. It's saying, put up your shields as the chaser. Put up your shields. Don't trust anyone that gets too close. Right? And then manipulation. The defensive too is a bit manipulative. It can manipulate others to stay away, So in terms of this, with the defensive, right? Because if we bring it back to the 35 and then Mercury and the 59, and it's all about being honest, right, with yourself. Because remember, during separation, it's really about the chaser. You're in charge. If you're a chaser, you're probably a chaser if you're listening to this right now. You're in charge of this whole thing. And that means that you have to go deep, deep within and then get brutally honest with yourself. That's what the transits are saying. Get brutally honest with yourself with the 59, right? And it starts with you. And so some questions are asked are where do I get defensive? Where am I afraid of vulnerability? That's the 59. Where am I afraid to really open my heart to another person? Like really, where am I afraid to open my heart even to myself? Ask yourself those questions. So there can be some defensiveness, and this keeps the runner away. That's why you're in charge. The runner can't come in until you've done this healing, right? There's no way. Maybe they consciously want to come in, but no, the energy is like, no, they can't come in until you heal. You have to heal this. So I would look at that, and then the guidance here is the Page of Swords and the Four of Cups. So this is Page of Swords is an air sign, so it's all about gathering information, right? So it's like questioning this ego that's saying to keep them away. I don't want anything to do with these people. This is all your relationships you can look at too. We'll gather the information. Is this true or not? Is this really true or not about this other person? Or am I listening to ego stories that are keeping others away from me, right? And there I am, justified in not taking that cup. This is the ingratitude card. There's the cup. Somebody's offering their cup, and you're like, no, it's not perfect, right? That's the 35, right? The 35 of hunger. I'm disappointed. The shadow, right? If we go to the shadow, right? I'm disappointed. It's not coming through. This person's not coming through, so I'm going to do a fox and the sour grapes. Well, the grapes are sour anyway. I'm just leaving, you know, that story, the fox and the sour grapes, right? So dismissing it, that would be the Four of Cups there. And then if we go to the moon card, and that's perception, if you can see that. So it's emotional at the root of it, right? At the root of it. And I would even go, the moon is mother. It can represent mother in astrology. I would go back to your past. And moon represents the past too. That's something, this is a defense, right? It's an emotional defense pattern to keep people away from your heart, because your inner child, if we go back to the inner child, has a broken heart, right? So that's the defense pattern. Don't let anybody get too close to me because I don't want to feel this hurt. But that's your job as the chaser. You have to feel this hurt, this broken heart, right? Yeah. And you can't escape it. You can't escape this healing. You've already had the trigger. You got to activate it, right? If you know that you got to activate it, you can't escape it. You're on the healing journey. Okay. Yeah. I just want to read some comments here because I really enjoy reading your comments. And leave your comments too if you're watching this on the replay. Robin says she's never found my voice annoying. Thank you. Okay. Renee says she thinks she's the runner. Okay. Until I hear about the chaser. Okay. Is the union between the chaser and runner a healthy dynamic? So now this is when you're looking at things from, and it depends on what your perspective is, right? If you're looking at it from, oh, I'm a psychologist and I'm looking at, oh, this is really, really unhealthy. Or am I looking at it from a spiritual perspective, right? But ultimately it's about you loving yourself. So as soon as you love yourself, especially as the chaser, the twin's going to reflect that back to you, right? But that's what it's really about. Because the old way, the emotional love, I need you to love me, right? Do you see how it's like external to yourself? I need to make you love me, and then I'll love myself. It's like everything's flipped. It's like so incorrect on our planet right now. This is what it brings you back to yourself. That's what this twin flame journey is about, is you're learning how to really truly love yourself, where you get to the point where you don't even care. I don't care if my twin flame is there or not, you know? I'm happy and content on my own. It's like a bonus, right? So you're like the main course and the twin flame is your dessert. You don't need the dessert. You're fine on your own. Yeah. Okay. So you can't look at it like that, because as soon as you say healthy, it's unhealthy. Because what we're doing in the twin flame journey is we're transcending duality, right? We're coming into unity consciousness as a collective of humanity, and this is the grace of God is moving through our relationships through these twin flames now, right? So as soon as you say, is this healthy? Then it's like it's unhealthy. It's like both. Right? You want the unity inside yourself. Okay. Bethany, I feel like I was the runner, then I got used to the chaser. Now he doesn't seem to be chasing me. I feel like I was a runner. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, we got some runners. They're saying they're runners. Then that's what's meant to be. Interstellar cosmic conversations, Patricia says. That's a mouthful. What if the twin flames don't come together in this lifetime? Well, they don't come together in this lifetime, right? But it's really up to you as the chaser. But you're not doing it. You're not doing this internal work to get to the twin flame. And that's why spiritual teachers, I said this in the last video, I said it was dangerous on the spiritual journey to introduce the twin in this lifetime, because they've been around, but we've never met. They've never met. They've never connected on the 3D realm, because the mind and the ego are fixated on the twin, because that's that pull of the soul to be united with its counterpart is so powerful, especially on the chaser side, right? That it would like you would forget your soul purpose, basically. You'd make your twin flame your soul purpose. But now they're coming in really, really strong. Yeah. Okay. Yes, love the self first. Okay. Yeah, the chaser. Okay. But really, runner chaser, you're both in a sense, right? Because you're running. I don't want to complicate this too much, but right, it's about you running from yourself and your soul. And so what the twin is doing is just mirroring that back to you. If they keep running and you never meet, that means that you're completely separate from your soul. It's about you uniting with your own soul, and then the twin will show up. Right? They have no choice. They'll just show up. They'll be orbiting around you because they are you, and vice versa, right?